Hi guys! I know. Where have you been? You've been so MIA. Oh my goodness. I've been off the radar. Um, I've been working like crazy. I've been assigned trips like crazy, and I have been picking up trips like crazy. Um, I've just been anyway, as you can tell, I'm actually working now. I'm in Chicago on a trip, on an assigned trip, and I got a really decent layover. I had almost 24 hours, so I figured this is a really good time to get this, get my video in and start back up with you guys, because who knows when I'll have time like this again. They have really been working with us ever since the storm happened back in January, on the East Coast and in the Southeast. That really hit us hard, and we were like running. When right after the storms hit, we had spring break, because excuse me. College has March, I believe, spring break, and yeah, March is for college, and then normally April is for high school, junior high, elementary, and stuff like that. So all the families travel during that time. So we had packed planes, and they were just running us. Now we're going into the graduation season, which means more people are flying, and also we're starting into summer storms. So, of course, people tell you that weather is a big factor in holidays and events is a big factor in the industry, but you don't realize it until you actually work it. I never really traveled much for the holidays or anything like that, and if I did, I drove. So I didn't realize until I started working. I was like, oh my God, are these people going and why? So just to update you guys on where I've been, I have not deserted you guys. You've always been on my mind. Thank you so much. I think I hit the 200 mark and some change. Thank you so much. It's like bonkers to even see that, like, I've had like 1,000 something views on some of these videos, like OMG. So thank you so much. Thank you for being patient. If anything, my life should show you how crazy this industry is. And that's the whole point of this channel. I took some time out to go through everyone's comment. I normally video off of my iPad or my phone. And when you do that, there's not a direct way for me to reply to you guys on YouTube. That's the reason why, like, some of the times you guys ask me questions and you don't hear a response. It's not because I don't see it. I'm not home long enough to be on my laptop, and I don't like carrying it because that's just one more thing I can lose. And it's heavy. So, I see it. I'm not ignoring you guys. I see it. Thank you. Some of the comments, I even have other flight attendants, new hires with other companies, have been commenting under my videos. Thank you. I think I've only had one instance where someone was offensive or whatever, and they got blocked. I don't deal with negative energy whatsoever. So, but everyone else has been so nice and so supportive and so patient with me. I thank you. And the flight attendants that comment, please do. I'm going into this, I've been here, 9-10 months or something like that? Like, I don't have all the answers. I do not. And I can only give you the small window perspective from my experience in my airlines. There's so many big airlines out here that are hiring that you know, what my company does may not be what your company does. So if I fudge on some details and you know the correct answer, please feel free to put it in the comments. It's because that's what this is for us to find real answers that no one would ever tell us prior to getting hired. So I thank you for doing that. I know some people in other airlines, that's the reason why I can touch on some subjects a little bit, but again, I'm no expert by no, I'm not even an expert with my own company, let alone someone else's. So by all means, do not feel like I take it the wrong way when other flight attendants reply to you guys, or if other flight attendants have a comment. It's because this is what this is for. This is a community to find real answers. Okay, with that being said, if you haven't realized, I've missed you guys. And so I went through your comments and I saw a lot of questions, a lot of recurring questions. So I'll touch on a few of them. First thing was Crashpads or apartments. Okay, this is another topic that I'm only touching on a little bit. I was extremely blessed for finding a little retired couple who are the sweetest people ever, who were renting a room in my base. So I don't live in a crash pad and I don't live with roommates. I live with an elderly retired couple. You know, and it's so funny because I always tell them it's like living with flight attendants because they're always on the go. They're the most active retired people I've ever met. They're all about their grandbabies and going to see their kids. So half the time I'm in Charlotte by myself because they're like gone, but they're the sweetest people. They, out of their, you know, obviously privacy and everything, I won't show a picture or say their name or anything like that, but sweetest people ever. I don't know if I could have managed in this industry if I didn't have a home to come to, and that's really my second home. With that being said though, I have a whole lot of friends who did do the apartment thing and the hotel thing. My base does not have a lot of crash pads. I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't really work out so well because housing in my city, my base city, is very cheap. So a lot of people don't, it's not like New York or Philly or Chicago or LA where, you know, cost of living is so high that you have to be like 4 to a room just to survive. It's not one of those cities. So I think that's the reason why there's not a lot of crash pads. But there are some crash pads, and trust and believe, you don't, I didn't like them. They weren't up to, and I get it. You're just there to lay your head. However, in this industry, you're thrown into so many different personalities and you're thrown into so many crazy situations. The last thing you want to do is come home after a 4-day trip to God knows where and come home to any type of drama, regardless if it's dirty dishes, you come in your room and your roommate, because some crash pads, they have like 4 people to a room, like every wall has a set of bunk beds. Now imagine if you come home and somebody's like laid up with their boo, or the room smell like feet, or not me, not Pain. Okay, Pain cannot do that at all. So, like, I just couldn't imagine that. So anyway, however, a lot of my friends did do the apartment thing, and you'll notice in cities where there are big airline bases, the apartment complexes will have like an airline clause that says, you know, we'll give you a discount on your rent, and if for whatever reason you have to leave the company or move to another base, we will terminate your contract free of charge and free of penalties. So that's really good, and that's the reason why a lot of my friends got into apartments, because it was basically risk free. If I didn't like it after a month, I can leave. If I didn't like my roommate after a month, I can leave. So a lot of people did that, and one of my really, really close friends, she, I think, is in the best situation ever. Her two roommates, who I love to death, they rented a apartment. They are basically around the same age, but more so around the same personality. Clean, about, good money management. Those type of important qualities when signing a legal document together for 12 months are kind of important. And they're really good with that. They were really good friends, and they could come to each other about anything, and the line of communication is very open. They're very respectful of each other's time, each other's space. And it also helps that, they're all flight attendants, so they know, look, if I walk in and I don't speak to you after a 3-day trip, don't get attitude with me. I just don't want to speak to anyone because I've been doing this. Hi, welcome. Hi, welcome all day. I don't want to speak to you. So that's really important. So you'll find that as well. And when you get into your company or you get into your airlines, a lot of airlines will have a benefits link on their HR page or something like that, and it will show you what apartment complexes have those type of clauses and what apartment complex you can go for a discount. So don't worry about that. And then on another note, if you're the type of person that doesn't want to live with anyone, I know for me, because I am reserved, I'm not reserve/block holder, which a block holder means is that I hold a line, meaning that I pick my trips, I pick my schedule, I pick my days. I'm not like that. I pick my days off, and then everything else is at the mercy of the airline. So, with that being said, when you reserve, yes, they work you a lot, but you also have a lot of downtime. So any of you that are in the food industry or the retail industry or something like that, keep those jobs. Even when you go through training, just keep those jobs. Try to see if you can work something out with your manager and keep those jobs. And because when you do get on reserve, you'll have those free times that you do have. You can be working a second job and be able to live on by yourself. A lot of flight attendants do that as well. So, that's that. And then we have a lot of people that are commuters. I am a commuter, but I don't go this route. But a lot of commuters, of course, a commuter is someone who does not live in their base and they have to fly from somewhere or drive from somewhere to get to their base. They do hotels where a group of them will just occupy one room and they'll just rotate that room. Those people are mostly block holders, meaning that they have a set schedule and they kind of rotate the room based off of each other's schedule because they know that they're not going to spend any more than 2 or 3 nights in their base at a time. Because you got to think, if you know your schedule, you can fly in 4 hours before your trip departs. If you know your schedule, you know what time your trip departs. So you can fly in 4 hours before your trip departs. You don't need a room. You just stay at the airport until it's time to leave. And then when your trip is over, you just go home. Now, if you're reserved, obviously you can't do that much, but there's a way to understand the system. You have to learn the system. You have to learn when to take a trip. I don't know how to describe it because it's such a different scenario per airline, but people do it all the time, so don't worry about it. There are options. So yeah, that's on Crashpads. I have spent too much time talking about Crashpads. So I'm going to make another video on my other questions. But that was a really good question, is because you know what? When you're in training for that month or 2 months or whatever, that's the first thing that's going on in your mind. Where are they going to drop me? And where am I going to live when I'm there? It's because, you know, when you're on reserve, you have to be in base. Like, that's not an option. You have to be available for them. You can't be stuck, you know, in Miami and your base is New York. Like, that's not gonna work. So, you know, it is very nerve-wracking. So that was an excellent question, and I'm glad I got a chance to answer it for you guys. It's just that everything else I had for you guys, I'm gonna have to do on another video. Okay, bye.